Welcome to Millennium News Hour. I am Tanzeeba Naurin. In today's bulletin, we will present top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines of the day. Pro-Palestinian protesters block airport access roads in New York and Los Angeles. Wrong-way teen driver kills 6, including 2 children in Texas, authorities say. Herb Kohl, former U.S. Senator and owner of the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks, has died. He was 88. Magnitude 3.8 earthquake shakes part of eastern Arkansas. Mexican president says agreement reached to keep U.S. border crossings open. Mexico says a drug cartel kidnapped 14 people from towns where angry residents killed 10 gunmen. Ukraine welcomes latest U.S. aid package as war nears 2-year mark. Yemen's Houthi attacks on shipping, U.S. allies reluctant on Red Sea task force. Spying for Israel, Qatar court drops death sentence for 8 Indians. In Moscow to meet Putin and Lavrov, India's foreign minister praises growing trade. Shakira's hometown unveils a giant statue of the beloved Colombian pop star. South Africa skittle India to claim innings win in first test. And Mikaela Shiffrin masters tough course conditions at Women's World Cup GS for career win 92. You are listening to Headlines Now News in detail. Pro-Palestinian protesters briefly blocked entrance roads to airports in New York and Los Angeles on Wednesday, snarling traffic as U.S. airlines contended with a rush of holiday travel. The demonstrations stopped cars on the outskirts of New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport, where some travelers set off on foot to bypass the jammed roadway, as well as Los Angeles International Airport. A total of 62 people were arrested during the 2 protests, police said. In New York, activists locked arms and held banners demanding an end to the Israel-Hamas war and expanded rights for Palestinians, bringing traffic to a standstill on the Van Wyck Expressway leading up to the airport for about 20 minutes. Video posted to social media showed passengers, some carrying suitcases, leaving vehicles behind and stepping over barriers onto the highway median. 26 people in the protest were arrested for disorderly conduct and impeding vehicular traffic, and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey dispatched 2 buses to help travelers caught in the backup reach the airport, agency spokesperson Steve Burns said. Around the same time as the New York protest, a major thoroughfare leading to the Los Angeles airport was shut down by another group of pro-Palestinian protesters who dragged traffic cones, trash bins, scooters, and debris into the lanes, according to news helicopter footage. In a statement, the Los Angeles Police Department accused protesters of throwing a police officer to the ground and attacking uninvolved passersby in their vehicles, without providing further details about either incident. 6 people were killed in Texas when the teenage driver of a pickup truck went into oncoming traffic and struck a minivan carrying 7 people, head-on, the Texas Department of Public Safety said Wednesday. 3 people, including the 17-year-old driver of the pickup truck, were hospitalized with critical injuries after the crash Tuesday in Johnson County, which is south of Fort Worth, the department said in a news release. 2 of the dead are children ages 10 and 9. The crash happened on U.S. Route 67 at around 4 p.m. Tuesday, when the 2014 Chevrolet Silverado with a 17-year-old driver and a passenger was traveling south and entered the northbound lane in a no-passing zone, the department said. The truck then struck the 2021 Honda Odyssey, which was traveling north, it said. The driver of the Odyssey and 5 passengers died. The sole surviving passenger, a 43-year-old man, suffered critical injuries, the department said. The driver and the passenger of the pickup truck also suffered critical injuries, it said. Herb Kohl, a former Democratic U.S. Senator from Wisconsin and former owner of the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks, has died. He was 88. His death Wednesday was announced by Herb Kohl Philanthropies, which did not give a cause but said he died after a brief illness. More than anything, Herb loved Milwaukee and Wisconsin, and that is where he chose to live out his days, Kohl's foundation said in a statement. He touched an incalculable number of lives, and those who love him would remark that he is among the most decent people to ever walk the earth. Kohl was a popular figure in Wisconsin, purchasing the Bucks to keep them from leaving town and spending generously from his fortune on civic and educational causes throughout the state. He also used his money to fund his Senate races, allowing to him to portray himself as nobody's senator but yours. In the Senate, a body renowned for egos, Kohl was an unusual figure. He was quiet and not one to seek credit, yet effective on issues important to the state, especially dairy policy. He was one of the richest members of the Senate and the Senate's only professional sports team owner. A magnitude 3.8 earthquake rattled parts of northeastern Arkansas on Wednesday, according to geologists. The earthquake occurred shortly before noon near the town of Etowah, the U.S. Geological Survey reported. The rural town, which has a population of about 250 people, is located about 50 miles north of Memphis, Tennessee. The Arkansas Division of Emergency Management said there were no reports from county officials of damage or injuries. Etowah is near the New Madrid Fault line, which has been responsible for numerous small and large earthquakes. Beginning in late 1811, a series of powerful earthquakes occurred along the fault line, including one with an estimated magnitude of 7.7. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador says an agreement has been reached with United States officials to keep border crossings between the two countries open after temporary closures during a high number of crossings. The announcement comes one day after López Obrador, also known as AMLO, met with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for direct talks about the challenges of increasing migration. This agreement has been reached. The rail crossings and the border bridges are already being opened to normalize the situation, López Obrador said at a press conference. Every day there is more movement on the border bridges. Seeking to project a firm stance on migration, a key issue in the upcoming U.S. presidential election, President Joe Biden's administration has pressured countries throughout Latin America to step up enforcement. The Biden administration has also taken a number of steps that critics severely restrict asylum applications, a legal right under both U.S. and international law. A drug cartel in central Mexico has kidnapped 14 local residents, including 4 children, in apparent retaliation for an uprising by angry farmers earlier this month that killed 10 cartel gunmen, officials said. Farmers in the village of Texcaltitlan and a neighboring hamlet had apparently grown tired of curtail extortions. Armed only with sickles and hunting rifles, they chased down suspected gang members amid bursts of automatic gunfire on December 18, hacking, shooting, and burning them. 4 villagers also died in the clash. Prosecutors said late Wednesday that the cartel then abducted 14 people, including 4 children between the ages of 1.5 and 14. The abducted adults include 3 policemen who were seized at a cartel roadblock and a wounded villager the gang snatched from a hospital soon after the clash. It was unclear if there was an intentional symbolic meaning in the fact that 14 gunmen were killed by the farmers in the clash and that 14 people were kidnapped. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. Ukraine has welcomed the latest arms package from the United States to aid its fight against Russia as the war approaches the 2-year mark. The package, valued at $250 million and announced on Wednesday night, will include air defense system components, ammunition for HIMARS, 155 mm and 105 mm artillery rounds, Stinger anti-aircraft missiles, and medical equipment. We are grateful to the American government and people for their unwavering support. Ukrainian people appreciate your leadership, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense said on X on Thursday. President Vladimir Zelensky said it would cover Ukraine's most pressing needs. U.S. leadership in the coalition of over 50 countries providing Ukraine with military aid is critical to countering terror and aggression, not only in Ukraine but around the world, he said. U.S. President Joe Biden has asked Congress to provide another $61 billion in aid to Ukraine, but Republicans are refusing to approve the package without an agreement by the Democrats to tighten security around the U.S.-Mexico border. The White House has warned that without the additional appropriation, U.S. aid for Ukraine's fight against Russia will run out by the end of the year. President Joe Biden hoped to present a firm international response to Yemen's Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping by launching a new maritime force. But a week after its launch, many allies don't want to be associated with it, publicly or at all. 2 of America's European allies who are listed as contributors to Operation Prosperity Guardian, Italy and Spain, issued statements appearing to distance themselves from the maritime force. The Pentagon says the force is a defensive coalition of more than 20 nations to ensure billions of dollars worth of commerce can flow freely through a vital shipping choke point in Red Sea waters of Yemen. But nearly half of those countries have so far not come forward to acknowledge their contributions or allowed the US to do so. Those contributions can range from dispatching warships to merely sending a staff officer. The Iran-backed Houthis have attacked or seized a dozen ships with missiles and drones since November 19, trying to inflict an international cost over Israel's campaign, which followed the October 7 offensive in Gaza. The navies of the US, Britain, and France have each shot down Houthi-launched drones or missiles. A person familiar with Biden administration thinking said the US believes escalating Houthi attacks call for an international response separate from the conflict raging in Gaza. A Qatar court has dropped the death sentence imposed on 8 Indian former naval officers arrested there last year. India's foreign ministry said the 8 men who were condemned to death in October had been accused of spying for Israel, according to sources, though India and Qatar have not confirmed the charges. India's foreign ministry did not say what new sentence or penalty the men would now face. It noted the verdict today of the Court of Appeal of Qatar, in which the sentences have been reduced. We are in close touch with the legal team as well as the family members to decide on the next steps and will continue to take up the matter with the Qatari authorities, it added. It declined to comment on the case further due to the confidential and sensitive nature of proceedings. Qatar and Israel's embassies in New Delhi did not immediately respond to requests for comment. India's foreign minister met Wednesday with Russian President Vladimir Putin, who said relations between the countries are progressing even amid turbulent times. Subramaniam Jaishankar's meeting was part of a 5-day visit. At the start of the meeting, Putin said he would inform the Indian diplomat about the fighting in Ukraine, on which Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has held a neutral stance. I know about his desire to do everything to resolve this problem through peaceful means, Putin said. India is increasingly important to Russia as a market for oil exports, the backbone of its economy, as Western sanctions curtail oil shipments. It is very important to make our trade interaction more sustainable. We need to think about how to achieve this, Jaishankar said, according to a Kremlin transcript of the meeting's opening. Jaishankar also met with Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov, who said they discussed the prospects for military technical cooperation, including the joint production of modern types of weapons. India's foreign minister praised the all-time high trade turnover between the two countries, which he said exceeded 50 billion in 2022. Pop star Shakira was immortalized in her Colombian hometown of Barranquilla, where officials unveiled a giant bronze statue of the music diva known around the world for her catchy tunes and exhilarating moves. The 20-feet-tall monument depicts the multiple Grammy and Latin Grammy winner in one of her famous belly dancing outfits, with her hips swaying to her right and her arms raised gracefully toward the sky. A plaque under the statue says that on February 2, 1977, the town of Barranquilla and the world witnessed the birth of a heart that composes hips that don't lie, a voice that moves masses, and a pair of bare feet that work for the good of children and humanity. The statue, located on a recently built promenade along the Magdalena River that runs along the edge of the town, was unveiled in a small ceremony on Tuesday attended by Shakira's parents and the mayor Jaime Pumarejo. However, the bronze giant is not the Caribbean town's first Shakira statue. In 2006, Barranquilla unveiled a Shakira monument that depicts the pop star in her early days, playing an acoustic guitar and wearing jeans and boots. That statue stands near the entrance of the local soccer stadium. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 16,890.58. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 7.76 points or 0.05%. Tokyo stock close price is 33,539.62. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 141.62 points or 0.42%. Shanghai stock close price is 2,954.70. The Shanghai index is increased by 40.09 points or 1.38%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,043.53. The Hang Seng index is increased by 418.69 points or 2.52%. Bombay stock close price is 72,410.38. The Sensex index is increased by 371.95 points or 0.52%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Fast bowler Nandre Berger took 4 for 33 as South Africa bowled out India for just 131 in their second innings to win the first test by an innings and 32 runs in Centurion on Thursday. Virat Kohli was the only batsman to test the home attack on the third day, top scoring with 76 before being the last man out. South Africa had earlier taken a first innings lead of 163 as Dean Elgar and Marco Jansen not extended their first innings to 408. India were 62 for 3 at tea, still 101 runs in arrears, with Indian captain Rohit Sharma, fellow opener Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill all back in the pavilion. The collapse began in earnest after the resumption as Berger, who had already removed Jaiswal with a sharp lifter, had first innings centurion KL Rahul, Ravi Ashwin and Mohammad Siraj all caught behind the wicket. Jansen showed his all-round value to the team by taking 3 for 36. Kagiso Rabada, who took 5 wickets in the first innings, picked up 2 for 32 and completed the victory by taking a sensational catch to remove Kohli, whose 76 included 12 fours and a 6. Mikaela Shiffrin mastered tough course conditions to build a big lead after the first run of a Women's World Cup giant slalom Thursday. The American found the right balance between control and attack on the Schlossberg course, where a variation of grippy snow and icy spots caused problems for many racers. Shiffrin was 0.63 seconds faster than Sarah Hector, the Olympic GS champion from Sweden. The rest of the field trailed the American by more than a second, with Norway's Ragnhild Munkel 1.03 behind in third. Shiffrin, the 2018 Olympic GS champion, holds the women's record of 21 career World Cup giant slalom victories but has yet to win one this season. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Pro-Palestinian protesters block airport access roads in New York and Los Angeles. Wrong-way teen driver kills 6, including 2 children in Texas, authorities say. Herb Kohl, former U.S. Senator and owner of the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks, has died. He was 88. Magnitude 3.8 earthquake shakes part of eastern Arkansas. Mexican president says agreement reached to keep U.S. border crossings open. Mexico says a drug cartel kidnapped 14 people from towns where angry residents killed 10 gunmen. Ukraine welcomes latest U.S. aid package as war nears 2-year mark. Yemen's Houthi attacks on shipping, U.S. allies reluctant on Red Sea task force. Spying for Israel, Qatar court drops death sentence for 8 Indians. In Moscow to meet Putin and Lavrov, India's foreign minister praises growing trade. Shakira's hometown unveils a giant statue of the beloved Colombian pop star. South Africa skittle India to claim innings win in first test. And Mikaela Shiffrin masters tough course conditions at Women's World Cup GS for career win 92. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.